The Democratic Party has got to get their shit together. This is an incredible moment for our country. The approval ratings for the Democratic Party are in the gutter, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out why this is happening. And we can look no further than the New York mayoral race, where you have a Democrat, Eric Adams, a Democrat, Andrew Cuomo, a Democrat, Zohran Mamdani. And Zohran is having to fight Democrats after the Democratic primary is finished. He won. He dunked on everybody in the Democratic primary, and he's having to still fight people within their party because they're so entitled and they're so MAGA-esque that they are now running as independents. When the voters of New York have spoken in a very Trumpian way, segments of the Democratic Party just behave like MAGA light. So it will surprise no one that now Trump is trying to get Eric Adams out of the race. And the Politico is reporting that New York City Mayor Eric Adams faces a decision, a Trump administration post to drop his reelection campaign. Apparently, they've offered him a role in the MAGA government because what they're trying to do is get Eric Adams out so that it's a two-man race. So Zohran will run against Cuomo. And this is breathtaking considering the Democratic primary has already happened. And he didn't kind of win. He kicked their bloody asses all over the electorate. He is wildly popular. People like this message, and he is not beholden or corrupt like these MAGA politicians are, these MAGA light politicians. Like Cuomo, who's beholden to Israel, like Eric Adams, who's as corrupt as all get out. And now here's a quote. Here is a video of Mamdani, who rarely goes negative, talking about what he's up against.
I don't care about who we will face in November. We'll beat them all. It's the question of how we can actually stand up for this city. And the fact that I'm here talking about other Democrats. I mean, what do these people actually stand for besides power? That's the question that I have.
Pumps?
Okay, two things. Why does Donald Trump want Andrew Cuomo to be the mayor of New York City so bad? I think that's the question you have to ask yourself. And Eric Adams already sold New York City out to Donald Trump because he had a criminal conviction. And now he wants Cuomo. So that's a red flag in my book. And the Democratic establishment, I feel like they're going to keep us from fighting the way we should against MAGA and these Republican policies. And then they have somebody that is wildly popular, like you said, that one big, and they can't endorse him because he's not beholden to the same people they are. That's a problem. That is why we have lost the last two presidential elections and lost the House last election cycle.
Okay, and it gets worse, Pumps. It gets worse because it's also that it's not only that he's not beholden to these corporations that shackle Cory Booker, that shackle Chuck Schumer, that shackle Hakeem Jeffries. He also has the same message that Bernie Sanders has, but he doesn't face people within his own party. Bernie Sanders doesn't face people saying what New York Congressman Tom Suozzi says to the press. Listen to this.
Mamdani and other Democratic socialists should create their own party because I don't want that in my party.
All right. Tom Suozzi, have you ever said that about Bernie Sanders, the white guy? Have you ever said that about him? Because people in New York want him. The Democratic Party wants to move away from a party that is beholden to corporations, to the drug lobby, to the oil lobby, to the Israel lobby. We want to move away from that because we lost 2 elections to a fucking moron. And I just think you are so out of touch. And this pisses me off so much because I guarantee you, if Zohran Mamdani were white and Christian, that he wouldn't say that like this. There is this attack on him that is cooked in, that is built in because he's a Muslim and because he has a weird name like Barack Obama did. And it's disgusting to me that people in New York are not listening to their voters. And he won the Jewish vote. He won the rich white people vote. He won the working class vote. He cleaned their clock all over all the boroughs. And you have people within the Democratic Party out of New York saying this on TV. Has he said that about Bernie? Because here's the deal, Tom Suozzi. Why don't you go and try to fill up an arena the way Mamdani could, the way AOC can, the way Bernie Sanders can? I bet you're not going to get that many people to show up. Maybe you form your own party and you call it MAGA Light. We're almost just as bad as Trump, because that's what this is.
The attacking your own party in your own state is really breathtaking, because I look at this as a microcosm for the Democratic Party in general. What is it? 7 to 9% of Democrats support giving money to Israel, continue to support this war that we're funding in Israel, and they still continue to vote for it, like overwhelming majority. Listen to your voters, because we're not stupid like MAGA voters. We don't vote with, we like craven hatred and racism. We vote on how we want our politicians to represent us, and they're not listening. This is an example that is nationwide, in my opinion.
And more importantly, the Democratic base voters reject people that have over 20 accusations of sexual misconduct in Andrew Cuomo. So why are you guys pushing them so hard? Why are you pushing this? We don't want somebody like that representing women. We're done with that. In the face of all the misogyny from MAGA, where you have Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, who retweeted his pastor, all of Christ, all of the time. And the video that he retweeted, this pastor said he didn't think women had the right to vote and wanted to do away with the 19th Amendment. And then you think we're so dumb, like Fox News viewers, that we want some guy who is himself a misogynist, who sucks up to Donald Trump? It is abhorrent. To prove my point that Zohran is getting targeted from within the Democratic Party for the color of his skin, his religion, and the fact that he has a weird name, a la Barack Hussein Obama style. It shows you that the Democratic Party, which used to be progressive, it used to always be forward thinking, we're going to keep moving and moving and moving. The Democratic establishment, if you picture a subway stopping or a train stopping, you hear the they are now this conservative party that wants to preserve and conserve these horrible ideas where we lost 2 elections to Donald Trump. I mean, that should have been a layup win. But to prove my point, here is somebody who says the exact same stuff that Zohran Mamdani says. He's a white guy. His name is Graham Plattner. He is running against Susan Collins in Maine. And he says the exact same things that Zohran says, like, let's not send money to Israel. And he gets a standing ovation for saying this. And nobody in the Democratic Party, certainly not Tim Suozzi, is criticizing him. Play the clip.
Our taxpayer dollars can build schools and hospitals in America, not bombs to destroy them in Gaza.
So, Pumps, as you can see, when a white man is saying this, that has, a more traditional American name, I don't see the freak out that I'm seeing over Zohran within the Democratic Party. And Tom Suozzi, I think it's really fucking rich that he thinks he gets to pick which way the Democratic Party goes, and not the voters of New York City, and not the voters in Maine, and not the voters all across the United States of America. Let me tell you something. Zohran's a canary in the coal mine. I and you all over the place are talking to more and more and more people who are moving further and further and further left, because being beholden to corporations has failed all of us.
And the seniority issues that we're having with the Democrats, like, we need people with ideas that are willing to fight. I'm tired of Democrats, that person was in seniority, so even though they're completely impotent, we want to elevate them. We want fighters. We want people representing us that are equal to the moment. And I do not see that right now with the Democratic leadership. And I think that it is a sad day when we are racist against people and don't vote for people because of their religious beliefs, when on the other side, they are trying to do Christian extremism. We need to be better than that. We need to embrace every religion and every person of every color, because the white nationalists Christians over there, they're turning against everybody but themselves. And so we need to be better.
Yes, we do. I agree with everything you say. And the Democratic Party has got to start listening. We do not like that our leaders are beholden to AIPAC and can see what's happening when a woman is kidnapped by ICE and her child is left standing on the streets bawling, crying, and you go to the floor of Congress and you speak emotionally and all of these things. And then when it comes to Benjamin Netanyahu and Israel, you're all smiles for a photo shoot. Like, we're not stupid. Like, that moral duplicity doesn't work with our base. So Swazi, Jeffries, Booker, Schumer, and others, you're the ones who need to leave the party and call it MAGA light, because the Graham Plattners of the party, the Zohran Mamdanis of the party, are where the people want to be. And guess what these people can do? They can do the one thing you want so desperately, but because you're so fake, because you don't believe in anything except for getting lobbyist money, they can actually get somebody who was a Trump voter to vote for them because they're looking for authenticity. And when you're bought and paid for by AIPAC, you're not authentic. You're Benjamin Netanyahu's bitch. Period. Finally, though, I saw something last night on Twitter, and here I see the DNC bolstering Mamdani, who was on none other than I've Had It podcast, and the Democrats, the DNC official account says at Zohran Mamdani, and they quote him what he said on our other podcast: "We welcome anyone to join this movement." So the purpose of this episode is to apply pressure to the DNC, to the Democratic Party, to these dipshit Democratic strategists that don't know what they're talking about, that are so out of touch with what Americans want. What we want are our politicians to not be beholden to these corporations, and you will win. Unshackle yourselves, believe in something, be the party of progress, and quit acting like a conservative party that wants to prop up Andrew Cuomo, a failed governor that resigned in disgrace, who's kissing Trump's ass. Clear the court for Mamdani to go win this campaign. Start helping Mamdani attack Cuomo. This is insanity that he's having to fight Democrats. It is insanity, and the women of this party are the heart and soul of this party. And the women of this country are the heart and soul of the economy. So DNC and Democratic strategists and Swazi and Jeffries and all these others, if you want to saddle up with Andrew Cuomo, good luck, because it is not going to bode well for you. I promise you that. All right. We have more news later. Please like and subscribe, and we will see you later.